Yeah, rivals, it's a dangerous guy because it's a boxing. One punch, go home. This is dangerous, man. I know, but.
So therefore, the only way, if anyone is to beat him, is by knockout. And this isn't Floyd Mayweather boxing at 147 pounds and probably being in the ring at 155, maybe something like that. This is Oleksandr Usyk.
Number 1 and number 2 in these defenses. Yeah. Fury perceived number 1. AJ at the time 1. Dubois number 2. He's taken right, who's the next in line? Right, I'm fighting him. Yeah, that's the way he's doing it.
Oleksandr Usyk sat down for a live interview, and without blinking, he fired a playful but sharp shot at Floyd Mayweather, saying he's faced the best in the world his entire life and always come out on top. Then with a grin, he added that even at this stage of his career, he still has better legs than Floyd. The crowd laughed, but the message was clear. Usyk wasn't joking. He was reminding everyone that his conditioning, his mobility, and his mental strength are still elite in an era where legends guard their legacy with silence. Usyk used confidence to throw a jab without gloves.
Terry, don't be afraid.
Good evening. Hope you're enjoying our Monday night football coverage. Oleksandr Usyk, not a bad striker in his time. Thierry and Jamie are in studio. If you were fighting Thierry Henry, how would you get inside of his head?
Yeah, Terry is a great player, but hey, Terry, my legs be better with you. Terry, don't be afraid. My legs better.
What'd you make of that?
Sometimes you have to stay in your lane, and I will stay in my lane.
With only 2 fights left in his career, Oleksandr Usyk has set the boxing world on edge. Fans, analysts, and former champions are all watching his next move like hawks, waiting to see how a generational icon chooses to close the final chapter. The clock is ticking, and every rumor feels like gospel. The tension is building across social media, ringside interviews, and behind gym doors. Whoever shares the ring with him next will not just be an opponent, they'll be part of history. This is not just the end of a career, it's the climax of a legacy.
From Usyk that he's got 2 more fights in the bag at this point, that you reckon, yeah?
I interviewed him before. I sat down with him and had a chat with him before the G.O.A.T fight. And yeah, he was just like, I've got 2 fights left.
So he's never fought in the Ukraine, he's never fought in his home country, or defended his title, I should say. So that's got to be on his wish list.
I would imagine so, but with what's going on in this country, it's just a disgrace. It's still going on. That's not going to happen anytime soon.
No. But hopefully we'll get some peace there, and then maybe he will get.
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to see peace in his country and for him and his family. And that would be an amazing event.
The G.O.A.T just made it official. Usyk must defend his undisputed heavyweight crown against interim champ Joseph Parker. Both teams have 30 days to strike a deal, or a purse bid will decide the terms. Fans barely had time to digest the news before the matchup caught fire. Parker is riding high after massive wins against Deontay Wilder and Martin Bacol, and legends like Lennox Lewis have given their nod. Promoter Frank Warren sees it as the perfect send-off bout for Usyk. Parker brings danger, but also honor, and the build-up promises fireworks, not just strategy.
My gut feeling is that Joseph Parker fights for the WBO belt, but he doesn't fight Oleksandr Usyk. He fights the next man up. I haven't got the list in front of me, so I don't know the rankings. So I guess if you're Joseph Parker, the question is, what is it you want? Ultimately, if you want a world title shot and you think you've been blackballed from getting a world title shot or pushed to the back, then here it is. Here's your world title shot. You're going to fight for a world title, right? But if you're Joseph Parker, and I spoke to Andy Lee, it isn't just a case of fighting for a world title. You want to fight the number 1 for the world title, and that guy is Oleksandr Usyk. I would have given Joseph Parker the mic, and I would like Joseph Parker, because there's a mean side to Joseph Parker. I think everyone sees the friendly side. I've seen the mean side, and I wanted Joseph Parker to say, I want my shot. You've been ducking me. All these things might not be true, but do it. Sell it. The crowd would have gone a bit wild, right? Because I think a lot of the crowd want Joseph Parker to get his shot, but that's not what happened.
G.O.A.T, the rising Australian powerhouse, didn't hold back in expressing admiration for Usyk, calling him the blueprint and the measuring stick of greatness. He said he would love to test himself against the man who defined his generation. A potential fight between them isn't just about belts, it's about eras, it's about legacy, and the unspoken bond between warriors separated by time, but united by ambition. A bout like this would be a symbolic clash of greatness, old and new, with styles that could create magic inside the ropes.
Of yours is to go to heavyweight. You're giving me a little smirk. Like, is that like a dream scenario for you to fight one of those two guys?
I would love to fight Usyk, you know, respectfully. You know, I've always been so close to him. You know what I mean? Like I was. But I was 16 years old. I qualified for the Olympics. I competed at 17, little kid, and he won that Olympic Games. Like, I've always been there, you know what I mean? I've always just been, it wasn't my time yet, you know, but I feel like my time's coming.
Usyk's greatness wasn't built in comfort zones. He climbed up from cruiserweight straight into the land of giants. Without hesitation, he didn't cherry pick. He hunted the hardest fights available from the moment he moved into heavyweight. He looked for danger, and he found it, then beat at his twin victories over Tyson Fury, a man once seen as boxing's unsolvable puzzle sent shockwaves through the sport. These weren't just upsets, they were masterclasses, moments that redefined what dominance looks like. When guts meet brilliance under the spotlight of history.
Is by knockout. And this isn't Floyd Mayweather boxing at 147 pounds and probably being in the ring at 155, maybe something like that. This is Oleksandr Usyk, who is fighting big men, sometimes giving up 40-pound weight advantages. And unfortunately, that does mean that if Oleksandr Usyk goes on for 4, 5, 6 more fights, of course he is going to be defeated, in my opinion. But I would love that to not be the case. I would love it to not be the case. What I would love to be the case right now, as a boxing fan, is Oleksandr Usyk to walk off into the sunset. I think he's proven everything that he could possibly prove. And there's been debates, and especially I remember after the first few Joshua fights, there were debates over sort of Oleksandr Usyk's status compared to Evander Holyfield.
What sets Usyk apart isn't just a zero, it's the way he earned it. Every fight was a risk, every ring walk was a test, and every opponent brought something that could have ended the streak. But Usyk met them all with brilliance, footwork, IQ, and pressure that broke down even the strongest. Usyk didn't run, he adjusted, didn't overpower. He outsmarted in a sport where belts often speak louder than bravery. He carved a legacy that stands taller than most, not because of how many he beat, but because of who and when he beat them on the biggest stages.
It's over sort of Oleksandr Usyk's status compared to Evander Holyfield. Listen, that argument, a lot of people wanted to rubbish that at first. That argument is a real argument that can be made now, because when you look at what Oleksandr Usyk's done, remember Evander Holyfield was in a cruiserweight division that I'm not going to say was in its infancy, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't the cruiserweight division that Oleksandr Usyk was in. The cruiserweight division that Oleksandr Usyk was in, I believe, was a more stacked, more competitive cruiserweight division. And the way Usyk left that division, he left it by cleaning it out. The World Boxing Super Series tournament was something that actually got the best fighting the best and got the best names coming into it and entering, and we weren't really seeing that at the time.
Floyd Mayweather will forever be the defensive genius, the master of control, the pound-for-pound king of his generation. But in this new age of boxing, Oleksandr Usyk is emerging as a force worth comparing, with undisputed titles across multiple divisions and legendary wins. Under the heaviest lights, Usyk is no longer just a champion, he's a counterweight to Floyd's dominance. If they ever met, even in an exhibition, the fight would be more than just a fantasy. It would be a collision of mind styles and legacies that shaped two eras.
I think Floyd is one of the worst fighters ever. That's my hot take on Floyd. Now let me stop trolling. Now that I got y'all baited in. I think we always say like, oh, how great Floyd is. But when you really sit there and think about it, Floyd was really special. Like, when we talk about generational, it's going to be a very, very, very long time till we see Floyd. Like, Pernell was great. He was a great defensive wizard. Pernell trapped himself a lot. He was able to find himself out of his own traps. Pernell would give up outside lead foot position to a lot of big punchers, and he was still able to be elusive and get away. That's impressive. Floyd would sit on the ropes against guys like Canelo, Pacquiao, De La Hoya, Cotto, and either evade every shot or get away. Generation, like, Floyd is crazy. He's not my favorite fighter. He's far from my favorite, but I mean, I think he's the best pound-for-pound fighter of all time. I don't think there's much debate for it. Did Floyd fight everybody he was supposed to? No, we got to be honest. He just didn't. Most people don't. Did Floyd fight everybody at their best? No, that's impossible. Was Floyd the most slippery, defensively sound, technical boxers of all time? Hell yeah. Like I said, I'm not the hugest Floyd fan, but I just sit here watch him dominate my boy Canelo. You guys know Canelo, he's one of my favorite, but God, Floyd, different type of boxer, you know. We hated him when he was here. I kind of miss Floyd now.
Mayweather's style was built on clinical control, on surgical precision, on making opponents miss and pay, but Usyk is built different. He's all movement, pressure, and adaptation. He thrives in chaos and excels in war. His dismantling of Daniel Dubois showed how brains beat brawn. Dubois came with raw power, but Usyk turned the fight into a chess match where only he knew the rules. With flawless timing and angles, he took away Dubois's strengths and left him swinging at ghosts. It wasn't just a win, it was a performance that redefined domination.
Up in different directions. Even I wasn't sure, because although I believe Usyk is the fighter of the generation in this weight class, he's at an age where, you know, overnight you sort of show up and you don't have it anymore. You know, Ali randomly lost to Leon Spinks around this age and whatnot. You know, so you know, you could get where all of a sudden, you know, it's not there on the night. So. And you know, you had
heavyweights takes 1 second, one split second, you're off.
Yeah, exactly. And you also had a very motivated Du Bois to add to that second. You know, who's a very powerful puncher and has sort of this bully mentality when he gets you in an uncomfortable position. But you know, Usyk, you know, flawless performance technically. You know, stepping out to that weak side consistently, mixing up the jabs, making things uncomfortable for Du Bois rhythm wise.
He seemed more aggressive, right? Normally, I think with some of the bigger guys, he sliced that weak side, sliced that weak side. This was different.
I think with Du Bois, the psychology is kind of out of the bag in that you got to kind of bully the bully, you know, and Du Bois came out trying to bully him a little bit, so he started touching him and hitting him, and he started taking it to him because he started backing him up, he started putting him in a situation where he starts to doubt himself, and Du Bois doesn't really come back from that very often. As a matter of fact,
he doesn't bend, he breaks.
In the fight, I thought he's a little bit awkward, Du Bois. I don't know, but
he's one of those awkward strong guys.
Yeah,
he's just like super strong, awkward as hell.
He goes down and he takes the full count, and then he just gets up at 10 and walks across the ring right in front of Usyk, who's celebrating middle of the ring, like with his hands up in the air. Just casually walks right by Usyk's celebration as if he didn't just get counted out to 10.
Foreman Ali. Remember, he walks right to his corner.
Yeah, but I was like, dude, you could have got up. You waited to 10, and then
he was a beaten man.
You waited to 10, and then not only you get up, you don't even have the presence of mind to realize, like, I'm walking right into the picture where he's celebrating.
But Paulie, he was a beaten man before the first knockdown. You saw his spirit leave his body, not as if he's dying. I mean, his fighting spirit just completely leave his body. And we've seen that before. It happened the last time, and a lot of people were asking me during fight week. They're like, "Hey, man, Du Bois looks really good. What do you think?" I'm like, "It doesn't."
Turki Alshik, the Saudi visionary who turned fantasy fights into pay-per-view reality, is now the wild card in the rumor mill. He's been the puppet master behind countless mega events, and whispers say he's toying with the idea of putting Mayweather and Usyk in the same ring. No one's betting the house, but with Turki's reputation and reach, it's not impossible. If any figure in modern boxing has the clout to bridge the gap between two icons from different worlds, it's him. And if the money lines up, the unthinkable could become unforgettable.
Turki Alshik might be the only billionaire I truly like. Don't get me wrong, if you're a billionaire, you're probably hiding some pretty shady stuff, not gonna lie. But this dude is a G. If you know, you know. This guy is a huge combat sports fan. Mostly boxing. This guy does everything he can to try and create the best boxing events in the world. Dude uses his money for the power of good by creating the most testosterone, aura-filled boxing matches imaginable. And after, it seems like forever, months, maybe even years of him trying to get Canelo Alvarez to fight Terrence Crawford, he finally penciled it in. He got it done a couple months ago. Here's why I'm making this video. Turki Alshik, I fucking love this guy. If either one of these two guys win by knockout, he's going to give out a huge bonus to him. It's important to note that this isn't going to be like a $50,000 bonus that they have in the UFC. We're talking Saudi oil money. Expect millions and millions of dollars. This is a quote by him. "We will not have Tom and Jerry fights anymore. We will have in this fight and in our next fights a bonus for a KO." Thank God. The biggest reason why I'm more of an MMA fan, and even a bare knuckle fan, than boxing is because I'm tired of the dancing. 12 rounds of just dancing. It literally puts you to sleep. And the last boxing event I paid for, I don't even remember the dude's freaking name. It was the last guy I think Canelo Alvarez fought. I don't even care to know his name. All the dude did was dance around for 12 rounds just to lose. He didn't do anything. It was one of the worst fights ever. Everybody thought they got scammed because they had to pay money for that. Even Turki Al-Sheikh was pissed. You can see it because he's done with this crap. He's done. He's finally putting an end to this. He's going to be giving out probably $1 million bonuses for every time somebody gets knocked out. Thank God. All right? Now I'm actually excited for this fight.
Usyk's legend isn't just built on punches, it's shaped by personality. Even with global fame and an undefeated record, he's remained humble, a silent giant who speaks with his fists. While Floyd often leaned into bravado, Usyk stood on the foundation of humility and discipline. Fans feel it, and so do rivals. Derek Chisora once likened him to Muhammad Ali, not just for movement, but for soul. Usyk brings grace into a heavyweight world of violence. His footwork, his calm, his control. It's not just beautiful. It's lethal, and it's reshaping what it means to be heavyweight elite.
You don't box this guy. It's like, how can I explain it to you in a way you understand? You can't box him.
He's just too good.
He's just unbelievable great. Yeah, forget good, he's amazing. Yeah, he's great. He's amazing. He's like the white Muhammad Ali. He might not talk like Muhammad Ali, but he is the Muhammad Ali of the last generation. You understand? We have to give him the credit where he's due. Yeah. He is that guy.
From the beginning, Usyk never took shortcuts. While others padded records, he pursued danger in enemy territory, in foreign countries, in unfamiliar time zones. He sought out top contenders and legends alike, facing different styles, cultures, climates, and rule books. He didn't just adapt, he conquered. His path wasn't paved with comfort, it was a tightrope over fire, and he walked it with balance and courage. His greatness isn't just about the wins, it's about the miles, the sacrifices, and the willingness to walk where most champions hesitate to even
I'm
look.
sorry. I can't help it, man. I fucking love this. Honestly, I fucking love this game.
What a performance! He couldn't quit! He's missed it! It's over! It's over! Impossible time!
Fuck me. I'm sorry for going on like a lunatic, right? But it was unbelievable. And it's funny how this fight all came about, right? The controversy in the last fight, which for me was never controversial. It was a low blow, simple as that. And I don't think we've ever seen Oleksandr Usyk ever look for an easy way to win. In fact, I think of all the fighters on planet Earth, he is the one who takes the hardest road to win. There's no tune-up fights for Oleksandr Usyk. It's the biggest fight in a heavier weight than he should even be fighting at, and he makes life harder for himself, not easier. And I think he has proven his character time and time again. But yet he was accused of not being, a real Christian because he was a cheat. He was accused of deserving an Oscar because he was a play actor and robbing Daniel Dubois of what should have rightfully been his, which was a world title. And after the Tyson Fury fight, Daniel Dubois stepped in the ring and called him out, and Oleksandr Usyk immediately turns to Turki Al-Sheikh and says, Mr. Excellency, make the fight. He had no problem in setting this up, and immediately you kind of think he was in the middle of talking about his father. I think at the time it was an emotional moment. That's a time where when you've accomplished what he's done, you deserve respect, and I think he was disrespected there, and I think he took that personally, in the words of Michael Jordan. Now in the first round, Oleksandr Usyk did exactly what he needed to do to Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois coming in with a load of confidence, wanting to be the aggressor, wanting to be the dominant bull that he was against Anthony Joshua.
Rusberg, the veteran trainer, described Usyk's mindset as quiet fury of fire that doesn't roar, but burns hotter than most. Even in victory, Usyk sometimes feels underestimated, especially by certain British media voices that downplay his dominance. That doubt fuels him, it sharpens his focus and hardens his resolve in the ring. He fights not just to win, but to erase doubt completely. In his last outing, every punch was a statement, every round a reminder that Usyk isn't just defending belts, he's making history and reminding the world that silence doesn't mean softness, it means danger.